Today is Taming the Monster Day. Yep, it's time to get back into control, get some of those weeds organised, get some of this lawn mown and trimmed. I had some feedback on trimming. The feedback was, less of it please. So this is what we've got. Well, I think I've tamed the monster. I think he's well and truly back in his lair. He's been thrashed and bashed and hacked. And, well, now it's looking quite a lot different. Even the bees are here. Well, it's July the 10th. Why is that important? Well, on July the 11th, Eli from the Kitchen Garden with Eli and Kate will be showing the video that we did as a collaboration with other YouTube gardeners. Fantastic. So, well, when you see this, it'll have released at 2 p.m. So go back and have a watch if you haven't watched it. Fantastic. So we picked some raspberries yesterday, and well, if you'd like to see what I did with them, pop over to my Instagram and have a look. It was yum. It's quite an exciting day today because I'm going to be taking out the garlic. So it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. And well, it's the right time to take the garlic out, sort of mid-July, but I've been prompted to do so because of some onion problems. I'll show you what I mean. So the other day I came across these onions that were, well, just laying down. And we had a little bit of a windy day, and these onions just rocked and fell out of the soil. And it's because their roots are so tiny. And I think these white little markings you can see on the bottom are because there's white rot in this bed. And the onions are firm, and I don't think it's too bad, but they shouldn't have roots that are that thin. And I'm wondering whether the garlic, which is just over the way there, might have a problem. We'll see when we get there. So in the meantime, I'm going to leave these growing. There's a bit of a stunted one there. Not quite sure what's happened to him, but we'll see. We'll leave him be. And I'm going to let these grow. There's another one sort of leaning over there, and you can see how, oops, if there was a windy day, there we are. And you can see that white underneath. So, and it's soft. So this area, sadly, like a number of areas on my plot, appears to have white rot. And there's very little you can do about it. Just grow your onions in a different location. That's why I grew the garlic over there, because I just wanted to get as far away from any evidence of white rot on my plot, so that it gave the garlic the best possible chance. I can't think of a winter without any garlic at all. So we'll go in and see what we've got. Well, here we go. Moment of truth. So I think I'm going to take every bit of this garlic out and we'll assess what we've got. And hopefully I won't see any white rot in here. And then when this is out, I'm just going to recover this bed because I'm going to move on to using it straight away. So let's go. Let's get in here and see what we've got. And there's one or two different varieties in here, but to be honest, that is perfect. If they all came out like that, I'd be very pleased indeed. And that's clearly a purple variety, but we'll carry on through and see what we've got. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to go in at a few different places because, as I say, there are different varieties, and I'm going to show you what each of them looks like. This one's really deep. Okay, so this is quite a thin stalk and it's got quite a small garlic on it, but perfectly usable. Put him over here, and we've got some, well, taller ones up here, which have got quite reasonable thickness of stems. And I guess that one is somewhere between those two. And there you go, you can see fair sized garlic. So I think it's worked my way through. I'll put them all in a row and you can see what sort of crop I got. No sign of white rot yet. Good times. I know what you're thinking. What's the news? Well, there's good news and there's bad news. And, well, I'm sure you're guessing the bad news already. Let's go and have a look at the bad news. So here it is. There's what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18 garlic there, which definitely got white rot. And you can see those telltale white fungal sort of spores and mess that's on the end of the garlic. That's probably one of the worst ones. And this garlic, well, it is usable. You can clean it up and, well, get using it. Use it first. And it still lasts quite a long time. I've got it before it's really rotted away, and you can see that one has rotted away. I had to pull the garlic out of the soil, having pulled the stem out of the garlic. So that's disappointing, and of course what it means is that this bed is no longer usable for garlic. So this is becoming quite difficult for me because I'm running out of spots on the plot where I know there's going to be no white rot at all. I think my next step would be to put it in a couple of the beds, the raised beds, where I know there's no contamination. That's not to say there won't be white rot next year, because well, it just travels. It travels on your feet, it travels on spades and tools that you use, so it is really difficult. Hopefully I never get to the point where I can't grow it anywhere, but I'm going to have to keep shifting it around, which is a bit of a pain. But gardening's all about the different challenges that you get, and this is just one of them. So you can't be too defeatist. You have to say, well, I'll try something different then, and you'll crack it eventually. So let's go on to some of the better news with this garlic. So this is the smaller ones, and yeah, they're very small. But do you know what? When they're dried, they make great garlics for sort of 1 garlic per meal. Just perfect really for a 1 meal sort of flavouring. So not too much problems with those, and there's probably, I don't know, 20 there, which is great. And then over here we've got these beauties which will dry nicely, and they'll break up into lots of smaller bulbets, and we'll be able to use those throughout the winter, no problem at all. And then a whole bunch of sort of medium-sized ones which are also great. So this is plenty for us, and therefore no biggie. It's not a crisis. And next year I promised myself I would buy new garlic, because I got to the point where I just don't know what varieties these are anymore, because I've replanted so often and failed to label. So next year it's new garlic, a new location, and well, a new start, which is always very exciting. Good times. So my plans for this bed have changed. I was going to put some leeks that I had left in here, which would have been ideal. But of course leeks are in the same family as garlic. They're alliums, and therefore now we've got white rot in here, we know that we don't want leeks in it. So this is going to go to purple sprouting broccoli, and those are coming on nicely in the polytunnel, and they're going to go in here for the winter months, and I need to get those in July. So I get this bed prepared, and well, it's going to be a broccoli bed, a purple sprouting broccoli bed. Well, that took me probably 3 minutes, and no dig is fantastic for getting your ground prepared quickly and easily. And I'll just give it a quick rake over to get an even surface and get rid of any of the weeds that I gather as I go along. And that oscillating hoe just cuts through the base of the weed and pretty much kills it, apart from the harder stuff like the couch grass or bindweed. But hey, we'll keep on top of that. And there we are, that bed is done. So purple sprouting broccoli into here, and that'll be ready in, well, I reckon a week or so. Well, there always seems to be a bit of path maintenance to do on the plot, and this little step has had a bit of soil movement at the back. I never really put anything like this in permanently, because I like to work on the basis that if you want to change it, you're not dealing with lots of concrete, which would make it nice and permanent, but a little bit too permanent for me. So I'm just going to take the back out of this and get this step back in so that we don't have an accident. Right, let's see how we get on. There we go. Talking of paths, this oscillating hoe is the magic weapon for these paths that I've made from chippings or wood chip from the chicken bed, because it just slices through the green and leaves me with a clear path. I do have to work on the edges, but this is an amazing tool, and I'm using it more and more on the allotment, mainly for weeding between the plants and on the paths like this. So you look at a bed like this or a path like this and you think, well, that's probably 20 minutes of work there, but no, this thing just makes it minutes. And I'll go around the edges now and it'll be job done. Fantastic. Well, this set of paths is absolutely full of weeds, so this is going to be a really good test. See if this can get this up quite quick. Let's have a go. Well, less than 5 minutes. Absolutely fantastic. Such a great tool. I know, I do go on about it a bit, but it's making a big difference to the time I'm having to spend on things. And the great thing about this D shape is that I've got membrane under here and this isn't tearing it. And so it's a really good tool for this sort of scenario, wood chip on top of a membrane. Well, that just leaves me to give it a bit of a rake over, just to get things even, sharp any bits of mare's tail that I didn't manage to pick up, but that's a really quick job, and we'll keep these paths under control. It just makes everything a little bit easier to work in if everything's a bit weed free. So there we are, there's another lump, and that's a job done. There, I thought I had a cat in the bed, but I did leave the silkies out. So Lavender here has found herself a little place to have a bit of a kip. I think I better check on the others, just make sure they're not up to anything that they shouldn't be. Interesting. Sometimes I have to go on a bit of a chicken hunt. Nowhere to be seen. Well, better go looking. So where have they gone, Lavender? Where have all your mates gone? Can you see them? I can see them. Well, this is an opportune moment to get all these girls back in. Go on, in you go. I do hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and if you want updates from me each time I upload a video, click the bell and select all. I do hope you have a great day. Diolch yn fawr.